Okay, good morning. Welcome to my weekly Arise with Anna live. We're going to talk this morning about how we can transform this feeling of why can't I just be happy? You know, why can't I be happy despite having everything that I have ever wanted? I still can't feel happy. So we're going to talk about why this happens. This happens for very genuine reasons, you know, and hardwired reasons as well. So we're going to talk about why it happens, but actually how you can change that as well. And I'm going to talk to you about kind of the transformational insights, but then also practical strategies that you can use as well. I will introduce myself and these Arise with Anna's in a moment, but also, as promised, within these lives, this is where I'm going to be bringing to you any, free live new offers that I've got out there. So I'm going to talk to you at the end of this live about a specific offer that I have at the moment. And this offer is actually complimentary, completely free. So just before we dive in, let me introduce myself to anybody who I haven't met so far. So my name's Anna Rushmer. I am a therapist, a healer, and an intuitive mentor. And I am running these lives to help high achieving women, highly successful women, to now really find and feel their deepest fulfillment, their truest happiness as well. So the whole idea with this is to create a community which is for high achieving women to really come into this space and learn and chat about the transformation that is possible. So this is, my work is all about helping you to come into your stillness, your femininity, your feminine energy, your real fulfillment in life, having already achieved success and not really being able to feel that. So not really being able to kind of appreciate that. You're kind of in this space where you're feeling empty or disconnected. You're feeling unfulfilled. You're feeling maybe that you want to feel a stronger connection with your kids, your partner. Something's missing, something's off, and you're done with it. Quite frankly, you've worked hard to get where you are. Now it's time to have it all. It's time to have your happiness and your joyful success, as I like to, refer to it. Excuse my throat. So the reason, I'm running these lives, my Arise with Anna episodes, weekly on a Saturday morning at 10:30 UK time. So you can either come along live. The idea is to create this community where we talk about transformation that is possible. And we're in this space where you can ask me questions, you can drop me topic ideas that you would like to cover, and you can also share this space then with like-minded individuals. Now, there is no need, if you'd rather stay anonymous in this space, then by all means drop me any questions or topics on a direct message. There's no need to come and talk directly live on this if you would rather not. And the reason I say that is because a lot of women that I work with come to me having experienced potentially deeper kind of childhood trauma, childhood woundings. Not everybody, but that was my background. So moving from this feeling really broken space to actually being able to feel joy and happiness in my life, that was my journey. So I tend to attract women that have experienced similar. However, I will also say you may not realize that you have experienced these deeper woundings as well. So just see how this resonates. When I run my lives, when I run these Arise with Anna spaces, I like to kind of focus around illustrating I kind of talk about three things: the emotions that you're feeling, that I felt, that my clients have felt, the process that we can go through to transform them, you know, what it is that we actually need to transform them, and then the lessons that we've learned. Now, lessons has been a huge part of my work on myself, and I will use my story and my clients, only ever shared with consent, but my clients' stories to illustrate these examples as well, to illustrate what's possible, so that I can bring all of that, you know, to you in this space to really kind of make it feel alive and tangible for you. What was I going to say then? So my journey started back in 2006, so, you know, almost 2 decades ago. Do say hello if you are jumping on live. It would be lovely to be able to see you, say hello to you. My journey started in 2006, and my healing, I needed to kind of go and find out what I needed. So I had to kind of, there was a lot of experimenting and working out and education. Hi, Ronnie. You know, which is why I talk about lessons learned within this as well. So I have a whole world of experimenting, testing, tweaking to bring to the table, which is why, you know, I talk about emotions felt, processes that we need to go through to transform, and this lessons learned piece as well. So ask me any questions that you would like to as we go through, if anything comes up. If you feel more comfortable doing so on a DM at the end, then do. I am just going to write down offer so that I remember to talk about that at the end, and then we will go from there. So ask me any questions. I will answer whatever I can see that comes up. I think there's a bit of a delay, but that's all good. Okay, so this, why can't I feel happy despite all the success, you know, despite having everything that I've ever wanted? Why can't I feel happy? Now, I remember distinctly this phrase running through my head, you know, back in 2000, well, coming up to 2006 and 2006. Why can't I feel happy? I have got everything that I thought I ever wanted, you know, successful corporate career, fiance, engaged to be married. I think the wedding was perhaps like 7-9 months away, something like that. I had the house, the car, the money, you know, the holidays. I had everything that I wanted on paper, and I used to get really angry with myself for not being able to feel happy. You know, I was very much judging myself, very much berating myself for, why can't I feel happy? Why can I not just feel happy? I can see other people doing it. Why can I not? Now, what I didn't realise at the time is that this is not being able to feel it is because we have subconscious programs that have become ingrained as we have grown up. So my work, I'm a hypnotherapist, breathwork facilitator, somatic therapist, energy healer. My work is all focused around the subconscious and the body's wisdom. So our subconscious is so incredibly powerful. If our subconscious is not on board, it's like a massive data warehouse where everything sits. If our subconscious is not on board with what we're consciously wanting, i.e., but I want to feel happy, I've got everything, I want to feel happy, that's a conscious want, desire. If our subconscious is not on board with that, our subconscious is always going to win. You know, as a sort of simple example of this, this is why people can struggle to maintain weight loss, because consciously, you know, they can use willpower, they can consciously lose weight, but then if the subconscious is not on board, it will, I mean, there's no emotion or rationale or logic to the subconscious, but it, in my mind, I kind of imagine it going, yeah, that's great, but this is where you're supposed to be. It's almost like having this internal thermostat. So what is happening when we can't feel happy, when we have everything that we've ever truly wanted, or we think we've ever truly wanted consciously? What's happening here is that we have this computer, or this subconscious kind of program that I like to think of like a computer program that's kind of got embedded as we have learned something in life, as we've grown up through life, and it then sets this internal thermostat. So what I came to understand for myself is that my internal thermostat was set to struggle. My internal thermostat was set to, it's not good enough, I'm not good enough, you know, this general not good enough theme. So that meant that I could have, you know, just everything. I could have been given millions of pounds, you know, I could have been given anything, but that subconscious program was still going to be running. Hello, Omid, how are you? So this means, whilst we've got this internal program, this internal thermostat running, we are going to always be coming back to that space. So this is why, especially for high achieving women, highly driven, highly successful women, we are going to keep, and I absolutely did this myself as well, we are going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because nothing is going to be good enough whilst we're running this program, subconscious program of it's not good enough, I'm not good enough. We're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And this is why, you know, we're going to come into this space of never being able to really see our own achievements, celebrate our own achievements, really feel successful or fulfilled when we have this internal, you know, thermostat, internal program, internal chip running. This is why we're not going to be able to slow down, even though we desperately know that we need rest. You know, we can feel our whole body aching. You know, this is why we're not going to be able to slow down if we have these programs of, but, you know, life is a struggle. Life needs to be a struggle. Life, you know, this isn't good enough. I need to do more. This is where, you know, we come into this kind of space of, you know, having those conflicting thoughts of, I desperately want to, you know, spend more time with my kids, but I need to be doing this in my work, you know, and always having that kind of internal chaos and conflict going on. So this is happening because of this, because we've got this internal subconscious program of struggle, or it's not good enough. And it could be something, you know, slightly different to that. However, that is what we would find out, you know, what we would find out when we work together one-to-one. We would find out what your specific internal programming is there. But let's work with this struggle. It's not good enough. And this is often, you know, this is what I see come up. This was my experience of this as well. So we have that internal thermostat set. So it means that, you know, as I say, we could receive £1 million. We could receive we could create the most incredible success, but we're not going to be able to really feel the joy, the happiness within that, because this internal thermostat is going to be, you know, ultimately, whilst, you know, I've also said the subconscious doesn't have any kind of logic or emotional rationale, but internally we're going to be feeling like we don't deserve it, or but this is not for us, or it's going to be taken away from us, you know, if that is our life experience. So how this program gets set in place is if we have experienced struggle in our childhood, which is normally childhood, if we've experienced struggle, or we've experienced lack, or we've experienced, hi Dione, or we have experienced turmoil, you know, if we've had a kind of dysfunctional space that we're growing up in, we are very easily, very likely to, I can't think of the right word, adopt this internal programming, subconscious programming of life is struggle, life is hard. If we are used to kind of having love given to us, but it's conditional with, you know, us being good in inverted commas, or us achieving something, you know, and then being taken away, if that love is conditional in some way, then we're going to be almost waiting, you know, braced, waiting for the rug to be pulled out from underneath us. So whatever we've kind of grown up with, and by the way, this is no blame to, you know, parents, everybody has their own stuff going on, you know. My household was fairly chaotic, you know. It was definitely kind of very anxious for me. I came to realise that, you know, my body hurt as an adult because I was bracing myself, you know. That was a kind of jaw tight, bracing myself was a kind of natural way for me and my body to be in. So, you know, it was very, what was the word I used then? Chaotic. It was very unpredictable. There was very much a feeling that I could never do enough, you know, and it didn't feel stable, and it didn't feel safe. And that is no criticism, because, you know, and no blame there. It is what it is. But what we can then do, you know, in our space, when we recognize this, is that we can then work with this to actually release it. And this was a massive part of my journey as well, was releasing these generational kind of trauma, generational patterns, subconscious patterns that get passed down of this struggle, of this lack, of whatever it may be, disconnect, so that, you know, I didn't pass this on to my son and further on down the ancestral line. So whatever is normal for us as we are growing up becomes comfortable. So if struggle is comfortable, if not ever feeling good enough is normal, that is what's gonna get implanted in our subconscious mind super easily. Plus that is what we then kind of live within this bandwidth of. So, and by all means, ask me any questions if as we're going through this, if, you know, anything isn't clear. But we're almost then working with this bandwidth. So, just lost my train of thought there, 1 second. So we're working with this bandwidth. So if something comes in that is actually beautiful, you know, love, success, money, whatever it may be, it often actually hits our system and kind of presents itself to us, or, you know, we react to that wonderful thing as it actually being dangerous sometimes even, you know, but a threat in some kind of way, because it's not our norm. So our kind of uncomfortableness becomes comfortable. So then, unless we work with this these programs, to release them from the subconscious, we are not going to be able to just come out of that. This is why positive affirmations, manifesting from this point of, you know, you have to be high vibe, this kind of generic kind of way of manifesting, this is why these things do not work, because they will work for some, but if you're running these internal programs, which a lot of people are, particularly women, I would suggest, because society's been set up in this way for us as well. But as I say, this is where we, you know, we are reclaiming our power, and this is where we are making our changes. So until we work with this internal thermostat and these internal programs, we are going to keep repeating these patterns. So if you are seeing these repeated patterns, this repeated feeling of, I can't feel happy, this is exactly why. So it's not your fault. You know, you have learnt this for very valid reasons. Your subconscious is, because it's focused on that, it's perpetuating experiences to validate this as well. So it's almost like a, see, there we go, there's the evidence. And there was something else that has just pinged out of my mind. So it's very normal and natural for us to feel this way. You know, why can't I feel happy? We then can quite often feel guilty. I used to feel really guilty about this. Why can't I feel happy? I used to feel particularly guilty towards my partner as well. But why can't I feel happy? Until we can actually work with and release this internal program, whatever our internal program specifically is. Now, what we can do about that when we work together is I use my proprietary FIRE methodology, which is something that I've developed over my many, many years of experimenting and tweaking, and it basically builds in all the powerful modalities, or all the modalities that have created really powerful change for me. We use that FIRE methodology to go in and really pinpoint what it is that your internal program is, or programs are, so that we can actually release that or reprogram it, whatever it is that you specifically need for yourself. And the beauty of this is we can go so deep, but it is so simple, because we are using the innate wisdom, the innate power of your subconscious mind and your body to let us know exactly where the program is, and exactly what it is that you need to focus on to heal, and exactly how to heal it. So it is so powerful. This is why we, you know, keep getting stuck. I feel like I need to just go back to, this is why positive affirmations and high vibe, you know, your generic kind of, you have to be high vibe manifesting. That's why those aren't going to work. As I said before, if our conscious mind, and we're doing that all with our conscious mind, and our subconscious are not aligned, the subconscious is always going to win. So this is why you could well have been feeling this way for an awfully long time, in the same way I did, you know, decades. That is exactly why. But the brilliant news is, the amazing news is that you have all the resources you need within you right now to release this. And I'm, you know, with my FIRE methodology, I do exactly that. I'm here to guide you in this space, hold you in this space, so that you can safely, comfortably release this, so that you can open up your subconscious, your body, you know, space for all of that and more goodness to come in, and really be able to feel into it, really be able to fully embody feeling real joy, real love, real connection with your loved ones, your family, you know, real success, even more success, you know, real wealth, whatever it is that you want to be doing. So, you know, this is where emotionally, we're completely flipping life on its head. You know, we're making really deep, life-changing differences here. So this is where it's like going from that real kind of disconnected, empty. I mean, I felt really quite broken in my time, really quite desperate for change, because I'd been looking for a very long time and been using a lot of conscious mind therapies that just did not do anything, because they didn't go deep enough for me. This is where, you know, we're moving from this real kind of empty, disconnected space into really relaxing into being and feeling really present in our lives, being able to feel joyful by the simplest thing. You know, now as an example, I can literally walk into the woods, or on my, you know, morning walks, go into the woods and burst into tears at how beautiful just walking, you know, in the sunshine through the trees is. There is not a chance I'd have been able to really kind of feel that or tap into that. Hi Kristen, lovely to see you. There's no way I'd have been able to tap into that in this space of struggle, not good enough, I'm not good enough. You know, there's a whole world of I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy that tumbles out of that as well. So this process, as I say, is about really deep diving in a really simple, super efficient way with my fire methodology, diving into your specific subconscious programs, identifying them firstly, and then releasing them, reprogramming them in whatever way you need. But we're doing all of this with my fire methodology, tapping in, communicating directly with your subconscious mind, your subconscious programs, and your body's wisdom as well. This is why it's so damn powerful. And this is how, you know, in sessions, literally you can, you know, feel the energy leave, the energy change. You know, this is absolutely my very first experience when I had my very first hypnotherapy session. You can literally feel relief, you know, change from that first session of us working together. So the lesson that I very strongly learned was that actually this process is not difficult, but you absolutely have to be working with A, the right methodologies, B, the right person to be able to create this change, and create this change in a really safe way as well. You know, a lot, in my experience, a lot of the conscious mind kind of work, so whether that be talking therapies, CBT, coaching even, that in my experience may, and that of my clients as well, created spaces where I was actually focusing on the thing that I didn't want. And, you know, if you know anything about the subconscious, or you've heard me talk about this a lot before, whatever we're focused on, we're going to bring more of into our world. Whatever we're focused on subconsciously, we're going to bring more of into our world. So I found talking therapies, conscious mind work was actually focusing me on the wrong things, the things that I didn't want. And also I found those spaces to be re-traumatizing as well, because I was reliving the things that had caused me a lot of pain, you know, throughout my childhood, specifically childhood. What was I going to say? This obviously was done with, you know, all of that work that I had was done with good intention, but it was not the right thing for me. So, you know, if you have been, most of my clients have been in talking therapy or have been taking medication for a substantial amount of time when they find me. If you've been doing this work, if you've been trying to get into this space of feeling happy, but actually nothing is changing, or potentially it's got worse, then, you know, please do get in touch, because this is the absolute key to my work, is this deep change, simple, efficient, super effective change with this depth to really shift, to really create life-changing results. You know, that is what I've experienced. That is what my clients experience. This is what it's all about. this is about real lasting change. You can hear that I'm so passionate about this. So this is kind of the main foundation of what we need to do to create this transformation, to create this real shift. What I like to do within these Arise with Anna live sessions as well is talk about, whilst we're talking about the transformational insights, talk about also some kind of practical strategies, practical changes that you can try for yourself as well. So I wrote a post, actually I wrote a post about this the other day, maybe posted it a couple of days ago or so. But also when I talked about this live session, I talked about 3 sort of main example results. The first one being about connecting, the result of this work is that it allows us to really reconnect with ourselves, which, creates so much more nurturing self-care energy, all of those beautiful things. But it helps us to then connect better with our families, our kids, our loved ones. And, it is a bit of a cliche, but it's incredibly true that if we want to be connecting, deeper with others, if we want to be sharing love, giving love, receiving love from others, we need to be in this space where we're, giving ourselves that love, care as well. The other result I talked about was allowing ourselves to slow down. This is always the starting point. When I start work with a new client, we always talk about this slowing down first. All of my work is about helping you to really come from this space of stress and all of the, chronic symptoms that causes. So stress, residual trauma energy, into this beautiful stillness and calm. And part of that is slowing down and really coming into this space of slowing down without guilt, really knowing that it's okay to rest. You deserve to rest. You need to rest, particularly as a woman. You need to rest. We need to balance our feminine energy, and that is leaning back. It's about resting. It's about nurturing ourselves. We need this in our world. Society doesn't operate like that. Society is all about push, work harder, prove harder, blah, blah, blah. We're moving into a more feminine, energetic world, but at the minute, we're very much about this push. So this is where, you need to dedicate this time for yourself to slow down. Now, with both of this slowing down and reconnecting with self, one really simple, practical strategy, tip is to, and you can do either or initially, but is to either start taking at least 15 minutes of rest time for yourself each day, and or take yourself out into nature for a space of time. Now, both of these spaces of time need to be disconnected from phone. This needs to be really coming into you, really coming into your rest time. Now, me saying that, there could be the panic of, with me just saying that, but I haven't got time. Okay, there is always time. This is about now deciding and choosing that you are going to create that time for yourself. And I totally remember being in that space of, oh my God, how do I make time for this? There is always time. There is, we spend a lot of time on our phones, checking emails, scrolling, whatever it may be. There is, we can take that time, we can create, we can decide, this is a choice now, we decide to create that time for ourselves. So this is very much about creating the time, then letting yourself really have this space. It doesn't matter if your mind is still really busy. You know, my work is very much about coming out of mind into body. It does not matter if your mind is still really busy. Just let it be. Just accept it. Just not accept it. Just, well, yeah, accept it. But just acknowledge it and just go, okay, mind. Okay, mind, just slow, calm down. You can say to your mind, okay, stop or slow down. You know, it's okay. We're all safe. It's all good. Whatever it is. But if you just want to let it do its thing, just let it do its thing initially. The key is to start creating this time and space for yourself. So spend some time lying down. Give yourself 15 minutes where you literally just lie down. Put an eye mask on if you have one. A weighted one is amazing for just, you know, coming back into yourself. Really allow yourself this time to breathe. Think about breathing down into your belly as well, bringing your breath down, you know, into your base, into your root, into your belly, down into the base of your back, if you want to think about it in that way, expanding your back, however, you know, it makes sense to you. But really allowing yourself to come into this space. Now, as I say, you might have had the panic when I mentioned it, but you also might have the panic whilst you're lying down or walking. You might well feel this guilt of, but I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something else. I need to be doing something productive, you know, whatever your mind comes up with. Again, notice the thought and let it be. If you can, in that moment, tune into where that feeling is in your body. So closing your eyes, if it's safe to do so, obviously. Tuning in, see if you can feel where you're feeling guilty in your body. Don't worry if you can't initially, but just practice it a few times. Feel into where you might be feeling guilty, or whatever the feeling is within your body. And then just notice it, and notice if you feel that it's a particular shape, that energy or colour. And you can ask that energy, that shape, that colour, what it is that it needs to tell you. You can ask it what it is that you need to know. You can also decide, if you feel it's right to, that you can pull that energy. You can imagine grabbing hold of that energy and literally pulling that energy out of your body if you want to, that guilt, whatever it may be that you're feeling. You know, this is about experimenting and playing with this. And then if you're pulling something out, see if you can then replace that feeling with a happy memory, you know, some happiness. So see if you can feel into the part of your body that feels happy, perhaps. And maybe you could share that energy with the part that you've just released. Have a play with this, experiment with this. But the key with this bit initially is just about slowing down, allowing yourself to slow down, to breathe, to rest, to walk in nature. As soon as we connect with nature's energy, we sink, we slow down, we sink into nature's energy. Now, when you walk, be really kind of mindful as well that you're not making that a mission in itself. I remember going for walks and almost making that like a to-do as well, an operation of, you know, right, let's go, let's get this walk done. Really think about just standing still, taking a breath, just allowing yourself to be in that space. And actually, whilst I say this, I do have a free gift of a serenity stroll, which is a walking meditation, walking relaxation, sorry, that you can do as you walk. I recorded it whilst I walked in the woods myself, so you can either do it lying down and resting, or you can do it as a walking relaxation as well. So by all means, ping me. I might drop that in the comments actually, but ping me a note if you would like access to that as well. That's about a 20-minute kind of exercise that you can try out as well. So this, as soon as we make this time for ourselves to slow down, we're going to start reconnecting with ourselves. We are naturally going to start reconnecting with our bodies, which is the key to this. You know, our mind likes to think that it's our master. It's not. It shouldn't be. Yes, the world is set up like that at the moment, but this is very much, until we, you know, learn to do this differently, this is very much about coming back into our body, reconnecting with ourselves. So this slowing down is going to allow us to reconnect with ourselves. It's going to allow us to show ourselves, you know, the love, the nurturing that maybe we've not really experienced that much in life, in childhood. That is going to help us to become more present, to connect with our family, our kids, and it's going to allow us to start becoming so much kinder to ourselves, which also encompasses my third result around being able to really start to see our own magicalness, actually, you know, accepting our achievements, understanding all of these incredible things that we have achieved in our life so far, all of the wonderful things that are going to come, and really allowing ourselves to celebrate in this space as well. So these, as I say, are just kind of practical strategies, tips that you can use to start to create change. And then, you know, I'd, of course, welcome you to drop me a message, connect with me if you would like to speak more about how we can work together to do this deeper dive work around your internal programs, subconscious programs, your internal thermostat, and actually create that, you know, real deep change. And these fast moves as well. This is about deep, fast, efficient, simple, you know, creating all of this change so that you can move in life. You know, you've got everything that you need. You've deactivated the chaos. I talk about this a lot. We deactivate the chaos and we activate your stillness and your calm, which opens up your energy to receive, to attract so much more. You know, this is the space that we make big shifts quickly, efficiently, simply, and also embody this. That's really key. There's no point just activating and creating all this change without really embodying this truest version of you, you know, your highest function, you know, highest potential you, highest purpose you. So the offer that I would like to put out today is that I am opening up 5 spots for complimentary calls for next week, which I am really excited about, to connect with anybody who is high achieving woman who is actively looking at the minute to invest in your transformation. Now, this is totally free. This is about us connecting so that I can feel into, so I work very intuitively, and I can also see things that others can't. I can kind of see your highest potential. So this is a space that I'm opening up to be able to do that with you, so that, you know, you can start to tap into what it is that is, start to pinpoint what it is that is, you know, causing you not to be able to feel really fulfilled, really happy, whilst having, you know, whilst having achieved so much and having so much in your life. So if you would, I've got 5 spaces free. I'm going to run this across this week coming. So I would love to talk to you. By all means, if you know anybody that you think this would work really well for, would resonate really well with, then by all means, let them know about it as well. But this is a free connection call, a complimentary, you know, one-to-one, so that we can really dive in and see what is holding you back, where you want to be, and actually how we can bridge that gap. This is only for women, high achieving women who are in this space where they are actively looking and ready to invest in your life-changing results right now. This is about, right, let's dive in, let's really see what is possible, and then how do we make that happen. Okay, I think I have covered everything. If anybody has any questions, then by all means, drop them in the comments, drop me a DM. And also, if you have any future topics, any burning questions, any future topics for any of my following Arise with Anna sessions each Saturday morning, then please do let me know. Again, pop them in the comments, DM me, whatever feels right for you. This is very much about creating a space for me to serve, for me to share my awareness, my wisdom over almost 2 decades of doing this work. So, you know, by all means, let me know whatever it is that any burning questions that you have, any topics you'd like me to cover, and I will do those at a future date. So I wish you all wonderful weekends, and I will see you next week, every Saturday, 10:30, Rise with Anna. I will